Well, good day, everyone. I'm Tim from Spark Plus, and today we're speaking with Comet Resources, ticker CRL on the ASX. We've got Matt on the line, Matthew O'Kane, the CEO. How are you today, Matt?
Good, Tim. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good in Singapore.
That's good.
So, hey, I hope everyone's staying safe wherever they are. Just to give some context to our conversation today, copper prices are, hovering at probably the all-time high, 8,900 sort of region per ton. Matt, what are your thoughts on the copper thematic?
Well, there's two things happening driving the copper price at the moment. One is we've had a sort of a persistent period prior to the recent run-up in copper prices of quite a long, sustained low copper price environment since the last peak in around about 2011, 2012. And that's led to, obviously, underinvestment in new production for copper. And then at the same time as that was becoming a sort of like a supply issue itself, we've had this big push into renewables, and renewables are going to be very copper intensive. So you've got really a perfect storm with copper at the moment. You've got an underlying supply issue that needed to be addressed anyway. And then you've now got this new demand really coming on quite strong for renewables, battery electric vehicles, everything driving, decarbonisation, basically power generation and the transport network. And those two things combined, I think personally are going to drive a sustained strong copper price. So it's a good time to be in copper.
Yeah, beautiful. I think some people might say there hasn't been a better time to be a copper explorer. Well, on that note, yeah. On that note, Matt, you want to tell us a little bit more about this new acquisition that Comet has made in the Northern Territories? How much land is on that license, and how many projects have you identified?
There's about 840 square kilometres all up over 3 projects. 2 of them are quite proximate to Alice Springs. They're probably about an hour or 2 hours away from Alice Springs. One's a bit further north. That's the Silver Valley one. But the Unagalabi project and the Paradise Wells projects, which are going to be our initial priorities, as I said, proximate to Alice Springs. So Unagalabi's had some historical drilling on it, and including some, very nice results, a big thick intercept of 30 plus metres at plus 1% copper and plus 1% zinc. And they're yet to find the sulfides there. They'd only drilled fairly shallow holes. So for us to go in there, this is open along strike. It's quite a long strike too. And also they'd only drilled shallow holes. So we've got upside both by putting holes further at depth and also along strike. So quite an interesting project there at Unagalabi for us. Paradise Wells is an earlier stage project. It's only had rock chip sampling and some surface soil sampling there, but very encouraging results. A couple of grams a tonne gold combined with copper in 6 to 8% range in rock chips there. So we'll also get out on the ground there at Paradise Wells initially and do some surface work there, and then progress to geophysics more than likely. So lots for us to do there, and in a great copper environment. As you said, it's a great time to be exploring for copper.
Beautiful. I think you mentioned geophysics, and I was hoping to touch on, the New South Wales Barraba Project as well. How's the geophysics going over there?
Well, it was going great, and then we had the torrential rains and the floods in New South Wales, which interrupted the program. But they're back on site completing the work this week. So that geophysics program will be wrapped up prior to Easter. All of that data will then go to the geophysicists themselves, the consultants who will do the interpretation of those results. And I would anticipate we've probably got a release for the market coming out in 2 weeks from now on that there, and that's great because that's our first geophysics program at Barraba, and likely will then follow. This has been aerial geophysics, and likely will then follow up with ground-based geophysics to be more targeted to generate the drill targets for ultimately drilling in that project. And again, copper's up there, so more copper, as much copper as I can get at the moment, quite frankly.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's exciting times, and we'll be looking out for that. Are there any sort of news or items that shareholders can look forward to in the next couple of weeks on top of that?
Well, with the Mexico Gold Project, we're just waiting on permitting there. So all of the documents are in with the Mexican authorities, and hopefully that comes back fairly soon. And that will be the enabler for us to move into drilling over there as well. So Last year was the year for Comet to acquire projects essentially and then get the financing in place. This year is all about actually doing the work out in the field, which we started at Barraba. We'll be now rolling that out in the Northern Territory as well. And then as soon as the permits come through in Mexico, we'll be drilling over there as well. So this year is the year of doing the actual exploration work. And that's ultimately what the funds were raised for, and that's what we want to do. So it's a good time. And there'll be quite a bit of news flow coming up, Tim, not just in the next few weeks, but over the next couple of quarters.
Yeah, excellent. And we'll be looking forward to that. It definitely sounds like it's keeping you busy this year. So
very much so, yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks again, Matt, for joining us today and taking the time to walk us through recent updates. Matthew O'Kane from Comet Resources again, everyone. Ticker CRL on the ASX. Matt, you have a good Easter weekend, and we'll catch you in the next one.
You too, Tim. Thanks very much.